Einen wunderschönen guten Tag, meine Lieben, und herzlich willkommen in einer neuen Folge von Eternal Strands. Wir müssen mit Oria reden. Die hat was für die Main Story.
Hey.
Hey.
How do you feel?
Okay now, but it was touch and go for a while. Lane will probably never forgive me. For that matter, I might not either.
I knew that fight. The spindle, giving her life like that. It'd be on your mind all night. How could it not? And I've been mulling over what to tell you this morning. I had a speech planned, but you don't need a speech. You're like me. It'd ring false. So I'm going to tell you what I'd need to hear after something like that. You did good. It was an awful situation, but you stood up and did what needed to be done without hesitating. Not many people have that kind of grit.
Ja, ich war gut, aber die Bestätigung freut mich. Ja, du musst dich ja mal selber loben können.
You're right. I think that was what I needed to hear. Thanks, Oria.
You deserve it. You've come so far in here. We've all had to adapt, but you more than anyone. Look, I know you, Brynn. You're made of stern stuff. You've the mountains in your bones. Any sense of doubt or being shaken is just snowfall. Temporary, and it'll slide off soon.
That was the part you practiced, right?
Yes. But that doesn't make it less true.
Okay. Okay. Thoughts on what we do next? We obviously need to deal with that beast. But where to start?
We need to get everyone together. Our band, Arakim too. And I want you to call the meeting.
Me?
Yes, you.
Okay, versammle den Zirkel um den Schirm. Wow, wait a minute. Kann ich hier noch was machen? Ja, also ich weiß nicht, ob ich den Frostbogen unbedingt verbessern möchte, ne? Den Flammenzweihender, den verbessern wir mal. Ja. Hier fehlt mir ein bisschen fehlt mir noch. Okay. Gut. Na dann.
I know everyone's up in their heads right now, but we have real problems to solve. So let's clear the air.
Are you running this discussion, then?
She is.
Sev, this has to start with you. We knew you were working with the Eye. We told you we'd have your back. Help us understand what happened. Just breathe, Sev. Start from the beginning.
I'm sure Brynn and Solar told you all. But I belong to an order called the Norians. We're sometimes called the Watersmiths. Imagine my surprise to learn our talents had been critical to the construction of the tapestry. Our order binds us to always help, another Norian. Especially a high-ranking one like Stanild. And to keep their secrets.
So that's how he sunk his claws into you.
Ja, sag mir, wem du loyal bist.
The most important thing is whether we can trust you.
Yes, Sev. Convince us.
I swear, nothing I did was intended to cause harm. Too many of my order are political animals. But there is real good to be found among the Norians. Craftspeople who just wish to perfect their art. To bring water to people in need. To experiment, but need the resources to do so. Unfortunately, too many of those resources are controlled by people like Stanild. They're all the same. They see a point of control, water, information, wealth, and they abuse it. I thought the secrets were a necessary evil for some great purpose, but seeing his chokehold on the Enclave, it's stagnation. You all have every right to distrust me. I am sorry. No more secrets. I just can't do it anymore.
If you can't be a Norian, then what are you?
If you'd have me, I'd like to stay.
Those of us who have been here longer than Sev. Thoughts?
He's a great apprentice, and did what was right in the end.
Still wasn't quick enough.
We need him. He's been exposed to Kenrick Stanild's plans, and that knowledge may be critical.
When I was going through it, you all pulled together to help me.
You are all heard. And I would add that you joined us under false pretenses, Sev. You had loyalties outside the band you never disclosed.
I have a hard time accepting that he kept so much from us, but shared so much with the Eye. Who knows what Stanild, or gods help us, the Talon heard about us? Only time will tell how much damage that's done.
Lane, I hear you and I understand. Sev has real work to do to rebuild trust. Only you can decide when the apology feels real to you. Sev, that considered, you have worked tirelessly since joining us, and demonstrated an enterprising spirit and deftness as a smith. And before the blade could completely fall, you risked all by blocking it with your own hand. You can never be a Norian again. I do not sense that you wish to be. And who are the Weavers but a group of outcasts and misfits, just trying to muddle through together? You will stay, and you will help. We have work to do. Tell us about Stanild's plan.
Thank you, Horia.
Ja, wir brauchen jede Information.
I won't dance around it. The situation we face is not good. The Surgeborn are more strategic than we could have imagined. Now, we have no idea what they're planning, but we do know that they can plan. That's our edge. But here's our challenge. That Talon. It spoke. It knew things it couldn't know about us. We're on the back foot and need to catch up fast.
Then let me, as Aurea said, help. After I repaired the gate, Stanil took me completely into his confidence. He'd been questioning and learning from the Talon. Or so he thought.
Not realizing he was being manipulated.
He was increasingly estranged from his daughter. I'd wager he was desperate for a friend.
I'd agree. Based on what he'd learned from the Surgeborn from his friend, he put together a plan.
Use my people as a distraction to pull the bulk of the Surgeborn out of the underworks. All while he used the gate to... what?
There is a place, deep, deep underground, known as the Source. A feat of engineering unparalleled. It's the secret to the Enclave's power. The abundance of magic. The heart of the tapestry. The thing powering the veil. There was only a single loom gate still connected to the Source after Asylum cleared all connections. And I'm the one who repaired it.
The Grand Gate would take him right to the heart of things then.
Exactly.
Stanil thought he could... what? Sneak down there and fix things somehow? Tear down the veil?
His hope was to go down and secure a working space, sealed off from the distracted Surgeborn. He wants to eventually fix things with the help of the Spindle. All glory to his family.
That arrogant idiot.
He'd read in his personal archives there was a system designed to shut down the Source. In the hopes of discovering how it worked, he had been feeding information to the Spindle about it in drips.
Meaning she might have been working on a fix for the Source without knowing it.
Then we have to pursue her research, clearly.
Good. But we still have the problem Stanil never saw coming. A great Surgeborn.
Which almost certainly will be unkillable if it operates like every other Surgeborn. It's hard to imagine any place more full of tangles than the literal source of the magic that's overflowing.
On that, I have an idea. If I'm right, we might be able to turn the tables and remove its advantage. I'll need Bryn's help if that's all right with everyone.
Of course. If it gives us a chance, we have to take it.
I agree.
Has anyone just thought to ask the Talon?
What would we ask it? Favorite color? Favorite way to disembowel Ashar?
No, she's right. It has clearly demonstrated an interest in Brynn. Maybe she could pry some information out of it.
I'm not sure I'll get much. But I'm also sure I'm not going to think it's my friend. So, worth exploring?
Then we have a path forward. Sev will pursue his thoughts on dealing with that beast.
My people have started calling it the Herald.
Of destruction? Doom?
Why not both? As I said, people are on edge.
Fine. Sev pursues weakening this herald. We work with the Axle to look into the Spindle's latest research. And if she feels like it, Brynn has a chat with our imprisoned Surgeborn.
As good a path forward as we are going to find. Let's call it here and get to work.
Okay, sprich mit Dame über seine Suche in den Trümmern beim großen Tor. Was hast du so?
Ever since we learned of the verdant mines, I haven't been able to stop thinking about them. They were clearly well-resourced in regards to both labor power and knowledge. And they had an extremely intimate knowledge of the Enclave's technology. But do you know who was around to see their rise and fall, but hasn't spoken a word about it?
Cassidon's hold's biggest ass?
The very same. I just think it's interesting how he's kept quiet about it, don't you?
I don't expect much from him.
I don't know if he was involved with the events surrounding the Verdant Mind's attempt to take down the Veil, but he certainly bore witness.
So what are you thinking?
I'd like to send you out on a fact-finding mission for now. Meanwhile, I'll pore over my existing research for clues.
Gotcha. I'll be back when I found everything you're after.
Thanks, Brynn. I'll get to work here, too.
Okay. Alter, alle wollen was. Jesus. Was willst du?
I appreciated your candor in the meeting, Sev.
It was terrifying. Wasn't sure I'd be allowed to stay. You didn't get to voice an opinion with the others. Are we?
Stimmung heben.
Well, I'm not going to pin a medal on you, because Sola says we shouldn't waste the materials. But you did good, big guy. We're a team, and it's good to know you're still with us.
I knew something was wrong the moment that thing started talking to me when Stanild wasn't around. It was very focused on you.
Me?
So much so that it said the only way the plan would succeed was if you talked to it. It reeked of trap. I didn't survive a decade around Tarzan Norians without picking up when someone's holding a knife behind their smile.
But you still took me down there.
Sorry. An educated risk. I felt there was nothing it could do and wanted the whole band to hear it talk. I don't think it understood we have the scry.
And Stanild wouldn't use one, of course.
The Talon was his deepest secret. Whom would he tell?
Can you tell me more about Stanild's plans for once he went through the Grand Gate?
He was counting on Isla. She was exceptional at protective fields. But even then, no. I don't think he had a real plan. The Talon had convinced him he'd be able to survive, and fool that he was, he trusted it. We can't afford that mistake. But I have a theory. You know how the weather sometimes skews wildly hot and cold?
Right. The aeroliths.
What else do we see on similar cycles?
Miasma.
Exactly. So, it follows.
You think the aeroliths are able to affect raw magic somehow?
I do. And in Stanild's private records and designs. I found notes, specifically on aeroliths with Norian commentary.
You think the Norians were involved in their creation?
It would certainly explain why Tarza had such access to aeroliths before the Surge. If I'm right, this might be the key to making the source survivable.
Fewer tangles means less dead me. Absolutely. Where do we start?
You'll need to head to the Watersmith area of the Institute, and I'll guide you from there.
Alright. Du hast auch noch eine Quest für mich, hä? Oder was hast du genau?
Do you know what's amazing?
Tell me.
Digging into the past and salvaging relics that change your understanding of everything we do. Maybe this is old hat for you, because you've been free to do it for so long.
I haven't been doing it that long, but I can't imagine it will ever get old.
Well, good. So, our relics of the day are those scries we recovered, which work very much like yours. Which demolishes my original bet on ours having been affected by this surge somehow. My best guess now is that they're working so well because they were packed up so tight. I floated the idea with Dharm and he was pretty into it. Want to join me in following up?
Oh, don't need me to do the asking this time?
No. I'm getting the hang of this.
Okay. Jetzt müssen wir auch noch mit Dharm reden. Und das machen wir jetzt morgen. Ich sage danke fürs Zuschauen. Habt einen schönen Tag. Macht's gut, meine Lieben. Tschüss.